Howdy, howdy, y'all. My name's Jack. I am, for one reason or another, I've been on these church steps for various different reasons. I've also walked on both sides of life. I've shared disdain from both sides of life. That of an addict living on the street, and that of someone that works hard every day and puts in the time to get what is needed and what isn't needed out of life. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't deal in bullshit, and I feel like the biggest problem that we have is that there's a big gap between both sides. Both sides justifiably have disdain amongst the others. I mean, I've seen, good hardworking people every day get treated like shit because they did that. All they want out of a community is to see, what they put in, and that is, maybe they don't want to walk with their kids and see somebody shooting up on the side of the road. Is that such a horrible thing to ask? Not really. No, it's not at all. At the same time, I know what it's like to be someone that has nothing to live for and not really give a shit what the other side thinks. Because I've done it, because I got this side or the third going on. Moral of the story is that there's a big gap between us, and that at the end of the day, if none of us take these steps to meet in the middle, it's just going to continuously get worse. Both sides got a lot of shit to do, man. I mean, I tell you what, it's if you look over the last 2 years, it all started in the park. I mean, at one point not too long ago, you could walk through that park and see about 15 people shooting up. You could step on a needle in that park, and I don't think anybody on either side really finds that acceptable. Do I find it acceptable for spoon-fed little kids who I've had it handed to them their whole life to run around and throw shit at people? No, I don't. That's an asshole thing to do too. The problem is that, nobody's gonna be happy at the end of the day if this war never stops. For a long time, there's been a big gap in Vermont. It's expensive to live here. It's beautiful. Most people that are here have been here their whole life. Up until COVID, that's the way it was. So you ended up on a bad road. You could come from good family, good people. You could have everything in the world given to you. You still end up a heinous junkie on the side of the road. That's just the way it works sometimes. And it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. Shit happens, and you deal with it. But it's easy to fall down the rabbit hole of hatred. You know what I mean? It's very easy. But at the end of the day, outgoing hatred is a form of ignorance. It's not wanting to deal with other people. It's being too tired to put in the work, to take that first step forward, to stop the fighting on each side. You know what I mean? I may be an addict. I've been an addict for a long time, and I disagree with a lot of the things that fellow addicts do out here on the side of the street. Do I get in a fight over it? Sometimes, depending on the situation. I mean, the needle thing is absolutely insane. Who the hell thinks that they should be able to just take over an area and destroy it in any way, matter, or form is an asshole. Let's be real about that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, everybody does things for a reason. Most people that are living that lifestyle are living in a lot of pain. They're cold. They're hungry. Everybody needs a helping hand sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that bullshit should slide and walk, freely. But is it any better to be the guy who's got the helping hand to give, that decides not to, that decides to add to the pain and destruction by doing, aggressive or passive aggressive things? I think that COVID was a really hard time in the city because Burlington's always been a very communal town. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that are here that aren't here for school have been here their whole lives. They loved it. I mean, I was a kid, loved the idea. I just wanted to move to, I wanted to get the hell out of Vermont. But, if I could move anywhere in Vermont, I was from St. Albans, I wanted to come to Burlington. Burlington was a shit. You know what I'm saying? It really was. That's all I wanted to do because it was beautiful, it was unique, and most certainly weird. And that's the best part about Burlington. And we're going to lose all that if we don't bridge this gap. This gap's been here for a long time. You get sent inside for a year. You end up getting, detached from the reality of having to move with other people in society. You know, everybody plays a piece. The world is all about balance. You know what I mean? And right now, shit's all haywire. You know, when you go one way, the world's going to send it another way. And if you keep going extreme in either way, it's going to be bad for everybody. You know, I would like to see a meet in the middle solution. I can't tell you what that is. I'm not an educated person. I got my grade 8 and that's about it. I can work my ass off for shit money though, I can tell you that for free. But you know, I am an addict, and I understand and see and witness all the time why there's disdain amongst addicts and people that live outside. I mean, I share it myself, and I am that person. You know, does that make it easier to get by every day for myself? Do I do shit that I regret at the end of the day? Every day I do. Everything I own is what you see right here. Yesterday was different. The day before that it was, well, I had the same clothes, but I didn't have the backpack. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a hard thing to get started. It's not always easy to I hate to use this term, but be the bigger person and take that first step. But at the end of the day, if nobody does it, it doesn't happen. And I don't know, I feel it in this community more now than ever. I've been outside for about 2 years then, maybe more. I don't know, I stopped counting. But it's getting worse every day because there's people, like I said, on both sides that are just so fed up with whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Most people live a projection of what's going on in their own life. You know what I'm saying? When you live, thanks Eddie, that was good. Eddie's over here, by the way. All right. Most people live a projection of what's going on in their own life. People that are, you know, living in a way that may anger you when you look at it. It may infuriate you when you look at it. That's totally fine. At the end of the day, whatever your actual opinion is of how things should be or who people should be or how people should act, doesn't matter. This is 2024, I'm pretty sure, still. You know, there's societal norms. At the end of the day, you don't need to call out everything that you don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? If we don't come together at one point or another, or at least start to bridge this gap, I mean, shit's gonna go nuts. The crime rate's already through the roof. I heard that defunding the police was a solution to I don't know what, but it hasn't worked yet. I don't want the police. I think that as a community we can come together, but I can tell you right now that, you know, at some point or another, it'll get to a point where we'll hit a wall and everybody will be miserable. I mean, it's bad for both. It's, you know, good business is good for business. You know what I'm saying? When you care about your community in one way or another, you have an attachment to your community, whether you live in a house outside or indifferent, it does not matter. If you don't love this community, you know, nobody's making you stay here, you know? But if you love this community like I do and you miss a form of Burlington that I grew up loving and admiring, you know, it's gonna have to take a form of community that you don't get to find everywhere else. I mean, this is Vermont. There's nowhere else like it in the entire world. You know, it's beautiful. We get these people to come here. We charge them out the ass to look at our leaves and stuff, to buy our maple because it's better than anything else. And you know, it just takes that one step, that first step. You know what I mean? On both sides. I can be an asshole. I certainly deserve people to be assholes to me. I don't have a solution for any of this stuff, but you know, I just hope that at the end of the day, everybody can take a moment and realize that every one of us lives in pain in one way or another. You know? That's all. I ramble a lot. I can't help it.
Thank you, Jack. Woo!
There we go.